Hello, everyone. Hello, hello. Welcome to our reading. Today we are using Love Oracle cards, Island Time Wellness, and we are using Soul Connections when two hearts meet. So, welcome to our reading. I hope everybody is doing great. Thank you so much for being here and being a part of our reading today. And thank you for following me on Facebook, YouTube. I appreciate your comments and your messages. And thank you for taking the time to message me and to like and follow. I cannot thank you guys enough. I know that life is busy and it's just great to have to see you commenting and taking a few minutes to comment. I really appreciate that. Please note that I read all of your messages and I try to respond to everybody. But thank you so much for responding and commenting. Um, I hope this reading helps you. Remember, we cannot do readings that has to do with I don't do readings that has to do with other people's energy. I can read your energy. I can tell you what your energy is and the outcomes of things, but ultimately you can change your situation and they can change their situation, their heart as well. So nothing is ever set in stone when it comes to a love reading. Please understand that. People have changes of heart. Um, Situations change. So never, I don't know, people always say, does he love me? Does he love me? I can't do those readings. I can't tell you if, because love is just, it's not something that you can describe in a card. It's an energy, it's a frequency, and you can love everyone, and it doesn't mean that you it's the kind of love that you need as far as like a relationship kind of love. So, and some people can love you, but if they're broken and they're having a hard time loving themselves, they're going to love you from a broken energy. So I can't does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. I can't tell you that this person, yes, this person loves me, yes, this person doesn't love me. Yes, the person can love you, but it could be an unhealthy love. The person can love you and it could be an amazing, great love. Like I can't answer you that kind of energy drawing like source. So just be aware that this love reading is mostly for you. It's just tapping into your energy, your situation, and to try to help you see it from a good perspective. Okay. So just to show you guys, I was showing a couple people in my other readings. I don't know if anybody has noticed this crystal in my other readings, but it used to be a purplish color and now it's like a clear color. Do you see that? It's like clear now. I don't know what happened to it. I have no idea. If any of you are watching and you are a crystal person and you have crystals and you love crystals and you can explain this to me, please do, because I've never seen this happen before. It literally lost all of its purple and it's just like a pale, pale, pale pink. It's very interesting to me because I don't put it in bright lights. It sets here and the only light I have is from my ceiling, so I find it pretty interesting. The only other issue I've ever had with crystals was this one here. If you can see, I don't know, will it tune in? Can you see that? This one here was kind of interesting. When I bought it, it was completely crystal clear, right? And as you can see how it's like dark? I used this on people and I used this crystal whenever I was doing energy work on people. And when I was doing energy work on myself, I used to put this crystal like in my shirt and it literally absorbed this blackness and trapped it inside. And again, this was a clear crystal quartz. Like there was nothing in this. It was just a beautiful clear crystal. And now it's got so much like dark debris. You can see it all throughout the crystal. I had someone look at it for me and they were like, "Well, there's no way it got in from the outside because it's sealed." Like, but that's the only other thing I've ever had change. So this is the second one that I've experienced. And I just thought it was, it's kind of disappointing because I really liked the color. It was such a beautiful color. And I'm like, oh, I like you. I still like you. Don't think I don't like you. But I missed the purple. It was such a pretty purple. I don't know. It was quite weird. So if you experience crystals, buy crystals, please let me know in the comments if you've ever experienced that. So let's take a look at your reading. So we got a lot of mirrors. Oh my. Wow. Okay. There's another one and a clock. Ooh. Ooh. Alrighty then. Mhm. Um, we're just gonna set these out. Let's just put them out here first so we can get a good look at them. And I feel like we need to do another one. Okay, yeah, that one there, the runner. All right. Well, okay. Interesting story. Let's take a look. I'm gonna put these back away so they don't fall all over the floor. Ah, check this out. This is my son has type 1 diabetes, by the way. But look at the 222. So how cool was that? It just came up now, right as I was pulling out the last card. So confirmation. I always look at confirmations and certain things, right? So there's your 222. Interesting. Okay, so let's take a look. Self-absorbed narcissist, one-sided relationship, love bombing. Okay, so we're going to read these first. Mirror. Mirroring each other, self-image, relationships reflect our wounds. Introspection. Need time, takes time, in time, cycles, time to heal, progress. Oh, girl with snake. Empath and narcissist paradigm, being charmed or used, enable boundaries. Hmm, okay. Not the energy I was kind of hoping for, but not enough. Frustrated in relationship, lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego, issues, jealousy. Oh, this is definitely not the energy I was hoping for. The the runner is a codependent relationship, fear of intimacy, listening to ego. All right. Let's dive into this here. Okay, we can make something positive from these. Yeah, give me a minute. I was not expecting this. I know I'm sorry. This was a kind of I was pulled to do a love reading, but this was not the energy I was expecting to come out. So it's kind of got me off guard. Okay, so universe, guide us through this reading. Help us understand what it is that we need to know. Let your words be present. Let your words touch our heart and help us to understand the message that we need to perceive. We give thanks and let's take a look at our reading. Okay, so the golden mirror. Okay, so right away I get that mirror in Is it Cinderella? Who is that mirror? Snow White? The fair, yeah, Snow White, the fairest of them all. I get this like um the person is, and it doesn't necessarily mean, I know this is like a reading for you, but it just doesn't necessarily mean that it's your reading. It could just be the energy of of the situation. Okay, so um, there's a lot of there's a lot of self there's a lot of self identification here. There's a lot of one-sided. Um, okay, so in this situation, it feels like there's a lot of unresolved trauma, unresolved healing. I'll just go there with this. Okay. It feels like somebody is narcissistic. They might have narcissistic energy. But honestly, I think in some situations we all can possess that energy depending on the situation, especially if there's trauma. We all can kind of have that narcissistic energy. Sometimes narcissistic energy can be, what do you want to say? How do you want to say that? Like if a parent has it, sometimes it can be um a part of of a person's growing up and they kind of take on those traits without realizing that they are that kind of energy. So I feel like in this situation, the person might be okay with doing whatever they want to do, but then if you decide you want to do something, there's a situation. There's a oh well you got this or oh well you got plans. Maybe they make plans to do things, or they decide to do something, or they go out and do something, and they don't have to ask you for permission, or if I mean, you know what I mean? Like maybe they go out to do this, and then they do five other things in the process of being out doing this, and they don't even think twice to ask you. But if you do something, it's, oh, what are you doing? Oh, why are you going there? Oh, why are you doing that? Oh, you have plans? That's like the one-sided situation where it's okay for them to make plans to do something, and to go somewhere, or to interact with somebody, or to hang out with somebody, and not tell you, because they had plans on doing this, and then they went ahead and they did this because they were already out, they were already doing this. So, oh yeah, might as well just swing by and do this, right? That's okay for them. But if you go to do something, you get that whole like, well, why are you doing that? Or, oh, how long are you going to do that for? Or, well, I was hoping that we could do this. And, so there's like a guilt trip, like a guilt energy put in there, right? There's like a making you question why you're doing something, if, if, because they want to, like why are you doing something that you want to do without asking? Or why are you doing something you want to do without consideration that maybe they want to do something else, kind of thing? So that's where we get that, energy of the narcissistic, um, self-absorbed kind of energy, right? Like it's okay for them, and they don't notice what they do wrong, but as soon as you do something, they're going to point it out, or they're going to make it into something else. Okay, that's what that energy is about there. The love bombing is coming in with this energy that just feels fake, that they just try to pull you in because they feel like you're kind of slipping away. So they just kind of like come back in with this, like, fish hook kind of energy is what I call it, where they feel you kind of distancing off, and they don't want you to distance too far, because if you distance too far, they're not going to be able to hold on to you. And there's a fear that you might realize the falseness or the mask, and so they kind of like love bomb you to pull you back in, kind of thing. Okay, that's like the love bombing. And usually when you get to a certain self love in yourself, you can pretty much feel this energy, and you can tell when it's fake. You can tell when the person is trying to love bomb you, and it just doesn't, the energy just doesn't resonate right. Okay, mirroring each other is I feel like this is a part of a resolution. Like the universe is asking you to be your true self, so that the person that is looking at you can see your true self in response to their true behavior. So for example, if somebody upsets you and you just kind of let it go and you don't say anything, you're not mirroring. Okay, you're kind of like, um you're kind of like what do you call that? Dismissing the behavior, and you're choosing peace over truth, right? So mirror is kind of like the universe making you step up and say, if you're going to treat me like this, then this is what you're going to get back. If you're going to act like this, then this is how I'm going to respond, right? If you're going to step in your true energy and you're going to do this, then I'm going to step in my true energy and I'm going to do that. That's the mirror effect. That is allowing the person to see that if they're going to act this way, then this is the outcome. If they're going to do this, then this is the outcome. Okay, so you're reflecting your wounds, and you're showing the disharmony in the relationship. Okay, that's the mirror effect. There's a disharmony in the relationship that's coming forward. Okay, the mirror effect is basically, showing each person the cause and effect to their decisions. Okay, so this is a situation that it could be different for every one of you. For some of you, the healing needs a lot of time. Um, for some of you, the healing, you've already done it. You've already left, I feel like for some of you, you've already done the healing. You've already moved past this. The stuff that bothered you before might not even phase you anymore. You may have done the healing, but maybe the other party did not do the healing. You may have accepted things for what they are. You have seen that you weren't perfect, You realize that the other person had, trauma. They're not perfect, but you've healed that. You've released that. You're not in this like energy anymore, right? But that doesn't mean that this person isn't still in that energy. That doesn't mean that this person hasn't refused to do the healing. That doesn't mean that this person hasn't got caught up in the pattern of not allowing themselves to heal, because healing takes time. Healing can be ugly, especially if it's a deep healing, right? And if it's someone, for example, that's like, say for example, you have a masculine energy. Okay, you can have a masculine energy who doesn't like to cry, who doesn't like to show their emotions, who was brought up that, you know men don't cry, men don't show emotion, right? That kind of energy is really, really hard when it comes to healing, because they have a tendency of closing down, shutting down, blocking off, and not allowing the healing because of their upbringing. So they have to bring in this feminine energy of, it's okay to cry, it's okay to feel, it's okay to be who I need to be to release these emotions. So in that situation, it can make this take a while. It can cause this situation here to just linger. Okay, so it is a progress depending on how you're handling the situation. Okay. For some of you, you may be in a narcissistic relationship. You may be aware of the person's behaviors, or some of these behaviors could even be your own behaviors. Um, and it's a relationship that needs to be healed and released with love, so that it doesn't affect your current situation. Okay. For some of you, I feel like um, you have already left this situation. You've already left an abusive um, situation, mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever. Like, I feel like for some of you, you've left this and you're in the healing process now, right? When you when you leave a situation that involves someone who has these tendencies, you become aware of the love bombing. You become aware of the, wanting to be charmed, and you become aware of the manipulation in the relationship, in the tones of the voice. You become aware of being manipulated, right? So I think for some of you, you have allowed people in your life that were very manipulative of you. And I feel like you are becoming aware now that you've done a lot of the healing. You're becoming aware of that energy. When somebody speaks to you, you are able to understand the frequency in their voice, and you can resonate with it, and you can tell if they're trying to charm you, if they're um, lying to you, right? And I feel like for some of you, in these situations, the person can no longer lie to you. I feel like when the person is in your presence, the Holy Spirit, or the energy, or your guides, or your angels, or your ancestors, whoever is causing a person to be truthful. So I feel like a lot of people, for some of you, a lot of people may have just came out and just said things in such a blunt way that it has knocked you off your feet, like, almost like, I can't believe they just said that to me. But they're being honest. They're being honest because they're being confronted. The spiritual realm is confronting them, and they're being confronted to tell you the truth. They're being told to tell you the truth. They're kind of like loose lips kind of thing. They're just blah. And they don't even know why they're telling you this. They might be like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I just said that to you." And it's because the universe is releasing this energy, right? It needs to go. It's not aligned with your true self. It's not healthy for you. It's not healthy for them, right? So it's a way of being truthful. It's a way of releasing it. It's a way of showing their true colors, and allowing the mask to fall away. Okay. And there's no more being charmed, because you can feel the energy. You can feel that what the truth about the energy. So there's no being able to love bomb you. There's no being able to charm you because you can feel it, right? You have had enough. So you're frustrated in the relationship. There's a lack of confidence, self-sabotage, fear, ego issues, jealousy. Okay, so there's a lot of things going on in the relationship that makes you not feel like it is a healthy dynamic. So in this relationship, you may have a tendency to self-sabotage the relationship, or they may have a tough self tendency to sabotage the relationship because there is a lack of self-confidence in themselves for who they need to be. Hold on a second. Sorry, I almost started coughing. And there's the throat chakra, yeah. So that's affecting my throat chakra. So there's a lot of communication issues with this one. That's the problem here. Because my throat started like instantly, I felt like I was going to start coughing. There's a lot of communication issues. Jealousy comes from envy. Jealousy comes from feeling like there's not a balance. Usually when we're jealous, there's a balance or there's a lack or there's something in there. So communication, if there was more communication, better communication, the the um the confidence would be there and the self-sabotage probably wouldn't be there. So there's this like runner dynamic. So there's kind of like a unhealthy energy here. For some of you, it could be a twin flame energy. You got the runner and the chaser for some twin flame energies. Um, a runner is codependent relationship, so fear of intimacy. Okay, so they run and the other person's like, no, 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 don't leave, come back, come back. And then they run again. No, 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 don't go, come back, come back. Um, this stems back to misalignment, the energy not feeling balanced. A lot of times, yes, there can be fear. Sometimes a person runs out of fear because they're afraid of intimacy, or or they listen to the ego, which is, oh, they're just trying to control me, or I'm going to lose my life, or I'm going to lose my freedom. They're going to treat me the same way the other person treated me. Like that runner energy often has to do with the ego that was hurt, okay, the ego that was injured. But at the same time, sometimes the runner energy is also when the person feels a very deep unbalanced energy within them and around them in the dynamics, and they feel like like the person that they're with does not hear them, does not understand them. This is the other person, like you might have a person that's jealous, um, and they're self-sabotaging the relationship because they're not communicating with you. They're not healing. They're not seeing their narcissistic behaviors. They're not respecting your boundaries. Um, they're not doing the work that they need to do to meet you where you're at, right? So if you feel like you need to leave this relationship, they're going to be the runner after you. They're not going to be the one that's like running, oh, I'm done with this relationship, I want out. They're going to be the one running after you and asking you to come back. Come back. Don't leave me. I need you. We know that this dynamic needs you, or this family needs you. Like they're going to guilt trip you to stay in a situation because they don't want to do the work. They don't want to communicate in ways that needs to be communicated so that you can feel balanced, you can feel loved. Instead, they keep resorting back to this narcissistic energy of I can do what I want to do when I want to do it, but when you do something, I'm gonna make you feel guilty, and when you do something that exceeds me or surpasses me, I'm not gonna be proud of you and happy for you. I'm gonna take credit for that, or I'm gonna be jealous of that, and that's dumb. That is them not wanting to do the work. Okay, that's all that is. It's just them refusing to do their own self healing. And there's nothing you can do about that. You can't make somebody heal themselves. It's a personal choice. And you either live in the situation and continue the situation, hoping that the person wakes up, um, you continue your life, you keep going on doing what you're going to go on and doing, and putting the faith in the universe that the situation will go however it's meant to, or you take the initiative to remove yourself from this situation because this person doesn't want to do the job to straighten their act up. I don't know. It's different for everybody. In no means am I telling you to leave the situation, right? If it is you, if you have a tendency of being extremely jealous, if you have a tendency of sabotaging your relationships, if you have a tendency of being frustrated in a relationship because you can't communicate and you're the two of you are not able to communicate together, and you have a tendency of having issues with boundaries and things like that, then you may need to seek some help in relationship, self-love, energy healing kind of thing. Like you may need to see someone about relationships and about self-love, and because a lot of it goes back to self-love. A lot of it goes back to, if you're noticing that you have these patterns, a lot of it goes back to just, asking yourself, where did this start? Why do I feel this way? What in my life, in my heart, hurts that causes me to feel this way? And write it down. Maybe it was someone that hurt you in your past. Maybe it was a relationship that you had before this one that caused you to question yourself. Maybe it was a parent that didn't make you feel loved. Maybe it was a bully in school, and everybody laughing that made you feel this way. Like, I don't know what your situation is, but if it is you that could have these narcissistic tendencies, that doesn't make you a bad person. Some people say, oh, narcissistic, they're bad people. They're not bad people. We all have narcissistic traits. I don't care who we are. All of us experience some kind of narcissistic trait sometime, somewhere along the line, right? It just depends on how much you feed into it and how bad you let it become. Um, and if it's not you, but it's the person that you're with, then how long has this been going on? That's what you got to ask yourself. How long have you been in this relationship? How long have has this person had these patterns? Do these patterns exist outside of your relationship? Like, before you met this person, did they act this way with past relationships? Were they controlling over past people? Were they controlling over other situations? Right? Does this person have these traits in a relationship outside of your relationship? Because that tells you right there if it's something that this person just does in their life, right? And it can tell you if the situation is just your relationship, or if this situation goes beyond your relationship. Okay. If it goes beyond your relationship, then it's very, very hard to address your relationship, because if the person has these patterns in past relationship, or the person has these patterns in their job or their friendships or whatever, it's going to be really hard to point that out to this person in your relationship, because it's just who they are, right? So the main thing in this kind of a reading is, how do you feel you need to handle the situation? If the person is a dangerous situation, if it's a dangerous situation, keep yourself safe. That's the main thing. Don't do anything that's going to cause yourself to not be safe. That's very important. Um, have you reached out? If it's a tough situation, have you reached out? Have you gotten the help that you need to help yourself in this situation? If it's not a dangerous situation, but you're just having a hard time communicating, what can you do to try to make this relationship more balanced, more healthy, more um, full of communication that feels like it's back and forth, and that the person is understanding where you're coming from and you're understanding where they're coming from. A lot of times it's completely communication issues. A lot of times it's just like you just don't have good communication skills in the relationship and the dynamics. It's not that you don't love each other. It's not that you're not meant for each other. It's not that the universe doesn't want you together. It's not that your purpose isn't to be together. It's just that you don't know how to communicate, right? So, and a lot of times that is the case. A lot of times communication, it is the biggest thing. So can you take time to learn how to communicate? Can you do things in this relationship, if you don't want to walk away from it, to better the communication skills, right? Can you play communication games together where you ask each other 10 questions, how was your day? How are you feeling? Things like that, to where it's a game and it doesn't feel like you're, why are you asking me so many questions kind of thing. Um, are you able to discuss your feelings without feeling like you're walking on eggshells? Are you able to truly tell the person how you feel without feeling like they're going to scream, holler, or judge you? That's important too. If you choose to leave the relationship and the person is the runner and they're coming after you, and they don't want to let you go, and you truly do want to go, what's the best way to handle this situation? Best how is the best outcome, the best thing to say or do or address? How can you make this person understand that you are choosing to end this pattern? Okay, those are all scenarios of how you have to look at the situation, because not two relationships, no two relationships are the same. They're all different in dynamics. The main thing is synchronicity. Yeah, a divine soul counterpart relationship is blessed with amazing moments of synchronicity, right? So working through the the person has to want to work on themselves. A true relationship is a true blessed relationship is when two people choose every day to wake up and and love themselves and work on themselves, because a true relationship is all about loving yourself enough to work on yourself so that the person you are with gets the best version of you. Okay, so you can't, again, you can't make, that's too many cards, you can't make this person choose to do the work. You can't make them look in the mirror and see their reflection. You can't make any of this happen. They have to want to choose this. Okay. And if for some of you, this may be baby steps. Like maybe you leave and the person chases after you and you tell the person, well, this is what needs to be done and if you want me to come back. So the person does do this. They look at themselves and they go, okay, well, this is wrong. I'll fix this. But maybe the list has like 10 things and they fix one. And like 2 years go by and that those nine other things are still on there, right? So and then you have this again where you're like, I'm done, I'm leaving, and then the person goes, no, 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 I'm working on it, I'm working on it, and and now they're on number nine, right? Sometimes you got a slow progress here. Sometimes you got a person that's it's a slow progress. But how much do you love the situation, the relationship, the how much does the universe want you to be together? Do you feel like you're constantly being redirected, re-guided together? Do you feel like the universe is constantly pulling you back together because of unresolved situations or something, right? That's another thing for some of you. A love bond grows stronger over time and it grows stronger with work. Okay, this relationship, if you are looking for a love bond in this relationship, the person for some of you, you might have a bond with the person and it's from a past life. That bond was just there and you can't even explain it. It's just there. It just feels like it was there before you even said hello. Okay, that's a past life bond. It that kind of bond will see you through any situation that you're going through. Um, no matter what it is, good, bad, ugly, whatever, that bond is kind of like the cement that holds you together through the universe, like, helping you. Honor your loved one, and you will notice your relationship becoming stronger. So honoring them, honoring their space, honoring their, not saying mean, hate. No one should ever say mean, hateful words to you, right? It's not healing, it's not good. And I can tell you from experience, before I went through a lot of self healing and everything, when you get into arguments and you say things to each other, words hurt. Words can be just like swords. So honoring your relationship, honor yourself enough that you love yourself enough to where you're not going to say anything to somebody else to hurt somebody else the way that you would not want to be hurt, right? Self love goes a long way. If you learn to love yourself and you learn to love the fact that you deserve nice, kind words, you're going to that's going to cause you to pause when it comes to arguing with somebody and saying something that upsets you, because they might say something to you and it don't mean nothing to them, but if you say those words to them, it might crush you on the inside, and it's because those are your words coming out of your mouth, and so therefore you own those words. So if you are saying something out of anger or out of retaliation, and that's truly not what you really want to say, or you don't want to get to the point where you're saying those things, you're hurting yourself, you're hurting your heart, you're hurting your own self by speaking those words. The other person, they might not, those words might mean nothing to that other person, or they might encourage you to say those words by constantly trying to argue and fight with you to get you to say something, because that's their way of being able to say, uh-huh, see that, so honor yourself by not allowing your energy to get to that point. Tell yourself, I will speak only love. I will speak only love. I don't care how angry I get. I will speak only love, and I will walk away if I have to. And then honor the person, um, and just tell them, I love you, and I'm not gonna engage in this relationship conversation no more, because I don't want to say anything that's gonna hurt you. I honor you, and I don't want to hurt you. I'm not gonna say any words that's gonna hurt you. Or I honor you, and I honor our relationship, and I love you, and I'm walking away. I'm taking a break for a few minutes, right? That little bit of honor can go a long way. It can make a big statement. Um, and a marriage of souls is a union of two divine counterparts blended together. Okay, so for a lot of you, this may be you may be married to this person. This may be your situation in a marriage where you've got to work through these ups and downs and differences and things like that. Whatever the situation is, trust that the universe is helping you to guide you and help you through this situation, okay? Your soul is preparing to reconnect. Trust in the process. Okay, so, excuse me. So there's a lot of reconnection here going on, a lot of self healing. Let go of the confusion. All seekers of truth experience confusion. Ask the divine to provide the answers you need. Yeah. So you're here for a purpose. So ask your questions after set with this reading. Ask your questions. What do you need to know? How can you see the better picture? What do you need to see that you might be blocking? Is it you not allowing a healing in to help transform this energy? Is it something that you can do to help them so that they can allow healing in to transform this energy? Is there something that you need to heal in yourself or in your past dynamics of a relationship to help this energy? Is there something that you need to acknowledge that this person needs to heal, to transition this energy, right? So, like, you can ask the universe for guidance. It says, ask the divine to provide the answers you need. So, take this information. It's going to serve each of you differently. Take this information, sit on it for a few, think about it, and take what resonates and ask the universe to help guide you in this situation, right? You want to make sure that you do what's best for you, but you also want to make sure, for some of you, if you're in a situation that can be unsafe, you want to make sure that you're contacting the right people, that you're getting the right support that you need, that you're getting the right protection that you need. I know in some relationships it can be very dangerous to try to leave the situation. I understand that. I truly do. And I'm, if anybody is listening to this that is in this situation, please know I have been there. I know where you're at in that kind of a situation, and I am under no circumstances am I telling you to leave and endanger yourself or anything, but I am telling you to get help, even if you have to do it in a private manner, secretly, slowly, one step at a time. Let others know the situation that you are in so that you're not feeling alone in the situation. Okay, fear is a way of control, right? So if they can put fear into you, they can control you. So, be mindful, be careful. I don't want to see anybody do anything that endangers their lives. And I know some of these situations, unfortunately, sometimes whenever you are dealing with some of these energies, the person can be very dangerous. So please, 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 whatever situation you are in, please make sure you are safe. Make sure you reach out and you contact authorities or people that can help you, programs that can help you, loved ones that can support you. But definitely, definitely, definitely know that you can always pray about the situations. You can always ask the divine for guidance. Be open to see signs, synchronicities, things that come your way to help you. Okay. And for others, this is definitely a challenging relationship. It might be something that requires both of you to heal together. I think for some of you, there is definitely a message here for like you, like the two of you were brought together because there's like a soul bond, but both of you have a lot of healing to do separately, and you're kind of mirroring this energy, and maybe it's you're mirroring it in a negative way because you both have a lot of healing to do separately, right? That soul bond is there because you guys are not going to separate because you love each other on a soul level, but the dynamics might be a little bit unhealthy because there's healing that needs to be done by both parts. Okay, so definitely try to communicate, definitely try to sit with each other, talk about what each of you need to heal, and support each other. Try to be supportive on helping each other heal those areas, okay? Because that's only going to make your bond stronger, okay? And that's only going to help you to feel more confident in yourself and in your love for yourself. Self-love so important. I cannot tell you enough how important it is to love yourself. As you love yourself, you will heal a lot of the dynamics that are going on in the relationship because self love really, really helps transform your heart and your mind. And in return, it's going to transform everything else outside of you. Okay. All right. I hope this message was helpful, and I will see you in the next one. Have a great, great day. Bye.